Hello viewers, Flash Motorsport here and welcome to Indianapolis. Quite the welcome we're about to receive. 1, 2 into the wall, and then again as we're about to cross over the finish line they brake test me. So that is a lovely warm welcome to Indianapolis. As the race begins, we did not qualify, we're starting P12 position. Pretty much mid-pack-ish, now probably a better position than at the front or further ahead. You see the Ferrari had a beast of a takeoff off the line and is making moves ahead. I brake at the same time as the Ferrari and totally fluff it up. So I press the start button just to go through everybody and not take anybody out. Come out the other side and I'm like in the side of the carnage. So yeah, it's benefited to an extent. I didn't take anybody with me. I don't look like a total idiot. But I look a good 40% of an idiot by not braking at the correct time. Too busy watching the Ferraris doing the thing, and oh my gosh, that thing is quick. Anyway, took it in behind Dan Dryden in front, who is in P7. We're in P8, which is not a bad position to be in. Mercedes makes a move up the inside here. I've got to let the man filter through. I mean, it would be pretty awesome that if you had your fuel filter or oil filter delivered by that car, but usually it's a Citroen Berlingo. Anyway, as we're going through, I'm trying to keep up the Mercedes in front. That Mercedes is a bit quicker than what I am, so keeping up behind them in their slipstream, looking at the huts at left hand side, braking down to second gear. As we turn in, Steve Energy takes out Dan in front, so that Dan has been pitted. As we're coming through here, things are a little bit clumsy by me, a little bit off the track, so the Dodge Viper manages to capitalize on that and take that position. Dodge Viper sounds great, by the way. It's got a really good soundtrack to it. If you enjoy what you're seeing here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'd also like to thank the channel members Andy Good and Jeffrey Anderson for supporting the channel. Thank you very much, guys. Back to the race. The Dodge Viper comes sliding in, elbows out, bashing the Mercedes out of the way, taking that position, showing them who's boss. But things take an unexpected turn for the worse. Dan goes in front of me, brakes, and I go into the back of Dan. So I do believe there's a ping issue there, but it also gave me a lovely 1 second penalty. So I can only thank the penalty system. I don't understand the penalty system, how it thinks I'm at fault for something that came out of the blue, but anyway, as it is what it is. Looking out for the 100 meter board, braking down to second gear and turning in. I've got a Corvette behind me getting quite close, catching me up in the bends and as well as the braking zones, but we are keeping ourselves behind the Dodge Viper. Going to try and make an inside move here. We'll stick my elbows out as well and get that position done and hopefully try and catch up to the Mercedes in front. We don't want that filter getting away from us right now, so we're looking at the huts at left hand side, braking at the first hut, down to second gear, getting a bit nervous as the Viper comes up behind me and goes off track along with the other Corvette. Going around this next corner, we are losing time to the Mercedes in front. We're now 2 seconds away, and that is a skill issue on my part. We're 2.1 seconds away now. The Mercedes is quicker than the Corvette, but the Corvette does handle better. The Mercedes is a big old lump. Looking out for the 100 meter board on the left hand side, braking just before it down to second gear and turning in. Coming over to the right and back over to the left, just feathering that throttle just to keep the car stable as you can, accelerating around this corner and then back hard onto the brakes into third gear, let the car coast around. As soon as we're straight, plant the foot to the floorboard and go straight through the chicane here and keep your foot flat out and over to the right hand side. You can see we've got quite a gap from the cars behind. We also got quite a gap from the car in front. Looking out for the 100 meter ball, braking just before it, down to second gear, and you can see things got a bit clumsy again ahead of us right now. Luckily enough though, we are able to capitalize on that. We're now in P6 position, getting held up by the Lamborghini in front that was braking unnecessarily, I would say, and I'm trying to make a move in the Lamborghini, but the Lamborghini does have a good run out of that corner and accelerates quicker than I do. Coming back over to the left hand side, I'm going to keep onto the right and pretty much make a dive bomb move and tuck myself in as hard as I can and make that move work. Back down to second gear, coasting around here, getting a bit clumsy, trying to make a gap from the Lamborghini behind, but we make it work and stick it to the floor. As we come down here, we want to be flat out, tucking ourselves as close to the wall on the left hand side and keeping an eye out for the 100 meter board. The car behind is gaining upon us. They're on a slipstream, but Steve Energy is also getting away from us. Braking down to second gear, the Lamborghini does try and make a move, but I close them off, which was a very brave move because that could have gone one of two ways. I could have been sent off to the shadow realm, or it could have worked, and lucky enough it worked, and that was a move I probably wouldn't try again, just out of sheer luck. That was there's no other way through that one. Anyway, we do have a great lead, 1.6 seconds away from them, and we're also catching up to P4, which is 2.8 seconds away now. Looking out for the 100-meter board, braking down to second gear, turning in over the curve, trying to cut that corner as much as I can. And as you can see, the Mercedes in front is having a good old time of it. Lucky enough they ghosted there. And I do think Forza have updated the ghosting system, so you do ghost earlier than what you used to, which is helpful, but still needs to be a bit more than what it is at the moment. Braking at the huts on the left hand side, down to second gear and turning in. As you can see, B Pro 1987 is ahead with a good 3.1 second penalty. So as long as I can keep up with lower than 2 seconds behind them, I'm going to have that position, because you've got to also calculate my 1 second penalty from earlier. So like I say, as long as I keep within the lower 2 seconds, I could have pole position at the end of this race. Looking out for the board on the left hand side, 100-meter board, braking just before it, down to second gear and turning in. And I'm coming back over to the right and then back over to the left, letting the car coast around, accelerating out the other side, up into third gear, and then dab on the brakes, turning in. And as soon as we're straight out on this corner, accelerate flat out and through the chicane here, and pretty much flat out through there. You can see it does lift the car up a little bit, so you have to be mindful of that. Coming back over to the right hand side, we're beating the helicopter, looking out for the 100-meter board, down to second gear and turning in. We are catching up to B Pro 1987 in front, but then I made a little bit of a mess up. Accelerated in the corner too hard and lost all that time I gained. This is a little bit of overdriving the car, trying to catch up to the one in front, and it's just little mistakes like that I'm still trying to iron out, let's put it that way. Looking out for the hut on the left hand side, braking at the first hut, down to second gear and turning in. You see the Porsche is cracking up behind me, which means I have got now people in my slipstream, which is what I don't really want. Coming out this corner, they are 1 second away, 0.9, so they had a better exit than I did. 0.8, nope, 1 second again. So long as they can keep pushing themselves back and I can keep pushing forward and hopefully catch up to BP Pro 1987. Jumping ahead to the start of lap 9, we do have a few overtaken people where I went into the pits and they managed to capitalize on that, but they must be on hard tires, so I do have a fresh set of mediums that I can make work. And you can see there's a bit of door banging going on ahead. We're only down in P9, so we did skip a few people in the pits as well. Keeping on the right hand side, diving it in, you can see Caveman and Bushman arguing a little bit, a bit of door banging. And as we go through here, the Ferrari does have a good run. Porsche pushes them out and I go into the middle like a complete fool. And I turn into what I would call a sandwich that doesn't taste very nice. I do end up pushing the Ferrari out a little bit, and for some reason I think either I tried dive bombing the Porsche or totally missed the braking point. Either way, me and the Porsche do come out scratched up but unscathed. The Corvette behind Dalic 9993 is trying to look for a move between me and the Porsche, but I go up on the inside of the Porsche again like I did before, trying to make that move work, braking at the first hut, down in second gear, diving it in and accelerating out as early as I can, braking again round to the corner and accelerating as early as I can, trying to make that move work. BP Pro has a 4.7 second penalty ahead now, so hopefully if that stays the same and we do not fall back any further, we can have that position gained. As we were coming over to lap 10, looking out for the 100-meter board on the left hand side, braking down to second gear and diving in. Did brake a little bit too late, which does cost me a position nearly. I am trying to keep the Porsche out but also give them room, and for some reason the Porsche went off track, so I'm not too sure what happened there. I did give plenty of room whilst trying to guard myself in that position. Anyway, we do have Dalic 9993 right up our trumpet. They do have a 0.5 second penalty and I'm 0.5 seconds away, so really I need to pretty much break away from them here. Over we go, I'm trying to catch up to B Pro, sorry, 1987 in front. 1.4 seconds away now, still closing that gap. So as you can see, they're a little bit squirrely coming out that corner there, so I can capitalize on that. They're 1 second away now. As we come up to the banking, looking out for the first up, braking down to second gear and diving it in. You can see the Corvette right behind me then. Almost made that move work, but ultimately cost them more time. As you can see now, I'm 0.6 seconds away from the car in front, so hopefully if I make this corner work, I can really capitalize on this and try and overtake. I move to the right, they block, so I move over to the left and still have better swing, and this is what happens. They ram me twice into the wall and I lose that position. I'm not too sure why they're doing that, because they have a 4.7 second penalty anyway, so they've lost that position regardless whether I overtake or stay behind them. You know, so to me it's quite stupid, but I'm also surprised I didn't get a penalty for ramming me the way they did. But again, we all know the penalty system is being worked upon. We are keeping a 0.6 second gap away from them, so that's all I need to do. And look, they say sorry. Sorry for ramming me deliberately twice and blocking. Okay, no worries, totally don't understand that. So I go in elbows deep, pushing them through like that, and then I realise I didn't make it work, so I back out. Because I'm not chancing it again, and if I did back out, I would have been rammed off there. But I did go elbows deep on that one. Just pretty much show that I'm not here to be pushed around, and stop acting like a clown. There's no need for it. Anyway, as we're coming through here, I decided to go on the inside here, just to show that I'm not intimidated by that person. Back out of the corner, let them take the position, because I'd rather be on the track at the end of the race than in the green somewhere. Coming around here, you can see we are still quicker than them, keeping up in the inside here, trying to look for a position to make a move just to really show off. But it doesn't really work, because I turn right here, and as we're about to cross the start and finish line, they brake test me. So I don't see the point in that, but each to their own, I guess. As we're back at Indianapolis again, to see if I can make better of the last race. Starting off in P9 position, not many people in this race surprisingly, probably because it's dark. I don't mind the dark too much, I'm not a massive fan of it, especially in the sunset or evening parts where Forza forgets to turn your lights on and it's pretty dark outside, and first corner shenanigans are already kicking off, everybody's everywhere and we're just trying to find a safe place to go. Coming back onto the track, we are in P7, so we gained 2 places overall really. We have the CTS in front, which is a real quick car, really leaving behind out of that corner. And we do have a bit of a stale area where I'm 0.9 seconds away from the carnage that's going on in front with the ramming, and a quite a good lead from the cars behind. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but obviously the CTS is trying to make a move, and the red car isn't letting them through. CTS goes off track, the Porsche goes off track, and I do accidentally give it a little love tap. Lucky enough, no penalty though. I mean, there's nowhere else really I could have gone besides also cutting the lawn as well. But I could have used the brake pedal, but where's the fun in that? Anyway, coming up to the Hudson left hand side, braking down to second gear and diving it in and accelerating out the other side. We're now in P5 position, so all we have to do is catch up to P4, which is 3 seconds ahead with a 4-second penalty. Actually, that came out of nowhere. Luckily enough, that means we might have that position if we can keep up with them. They are 2.6 seconds away now, so there must be something going on in front that I cannot see. There is a car going somewhere, everywhere. So yeah, hopefully if that carries on, I can make up a bit more time, a few more places. Luckily enough, I cut that corner and I must have just been within the track limits of that one, because that was a brave cut. I didn't plan it all that well. Coming round this corner again, into second gear and accelerating out as fast as we can. Over the curb we go, and you can see the car in front is having a whale of a time. So now we are in P4 position, so only really one more to go and we can capitalize on that, and we have pole. So 3 seconds ahead they are, so hopefully they'll be able to have an argument with somebody else and we can capitalize on that again. Coming around here, a bit squirrely through here, it's not my strong point of this track. We're accelerating out the other side, going off track for no apparent reason besides not paying attention to what's going on, looking at Hudson left and side, braking down to second gear and turning in, accelerating out the other side, up to third and back down to second, turning in, trying to maximize the track width, keeping yourself tucked in on the right hand side here because it's so easy to go over this grass bit here and you'll get a penalty instantly for it. Very rare chance that you'll get away with it, so it's a chance it's not really worth taking. You see P3 is 4 seconds away, so I've lost a whole second through that sector that is I'm not very strong at, which is an absolute shame. Obviously somewhere I need to improve upon. Coming through here, coming a bit sideways but managing to hold the car straight. P5 is still 4 seconds away, so hopefully if I can keep them at bay, I've still got P4, which is a good strong position. Accelerating through here as fast as you can, trying to not go over the curbs as much as I usually do, but it's cost me a few attempts. Looking on your right hand side, you're looking for the 100 meter board, braking down to second gear and turning in. Over the curb we go, maximizing that track width, back to the left, back over to the right, and then back over to your left, and keep left as you come out of this turn as well, and then you can really come over on this right hand side much cleaner than what I have been doing previously. Accelerating out the other side, looking for the huts on your left again, and braking down to second gear and turning in over the curb just a little bit, getting it nicely over that curb, and then braking down to second gear, keeping as far left as you can, and then bring it over to the right hand side and keeping as far right as you can again to make sure you don't go over that grass and go over the start and finish line. Now you can see P3 is 5 seconds away now, so I'm losing a second a lap to the cars in front. Skipping ahead to the start of lap 8, we have been through the pits and out to the side, got another set of medium tyres, and we're still in a P5 position. There's a person that didn't pit, so I think that'll be James Pancakes. I think that person is in that CTS, so they're going to have to pit soon, and they also have a 6.4 second penalty, which is quite a chunk of penalties to obtain. But again, that car is very powerful, and it could be just a lot of off-track stuff where the car is sliding. Looking out for your board on the right hand side, looking for a 100 meter board, braking down in second gear and turning in. You see P4 is now 5.4 seconds ahead of me with a 1 second penalty. They are still gaining time on me, but I haven't lost as much time as I thought I have. I'm getting a bit quicker through this latter part of the section of the track and able to more or less keep that time away from them rather than lose any more. Looking out for Hudson left hand side, braking down in second gear, turning in and accelerating once you're straight again, and then braking again in second gear, coasting it round, and make sure you're on the blue stuff on the right hand side, accelerating again and cutting yourself in and making sure you don't go wide through this section there. And I think that's just about the limit there that I pushed that you'd want to do. Any more than that, you may get a penalty for it. As you see, the CTS has had to go into the pits, so we're now back in P4 position. Braking down a second gear, turning in and accelerating a little bit, getting the car a bit more stable, trying to accelerate myself through the corners and not be as slow and as cautious as I was previously. Back on the brakes into second gear, coasting it around, using the gears to help the car rotate and accelerate out the other side. Again, over the curbs you go, but if you can avoid hitting the curbs, it does save you from bouncing around and keeps the tyres on the roads for maximum acceleration. Looking at the boards on the right hand side for the 100 meter marker, braking just a touch before it, down to second gear and turning in. You see Dan is now 3 seconds away from me behind, and P3 is still 5.5 seconds away in front, and they're 5.7 now. So I've lost 3 attempts through this back part of the section again. But Dan has also massively gained near enough a second on that section through there through me. So they obviously are much quicker the drivers than I am. I'm much more confident with the car. Anyway, you can hear him skidding in behind me now, 1.8 seconds away. So when they do come up behind me, I'm just going to let him have that position. It's not worth arguing after what we have had today. I don't want to get myself a penalty. Yep, 0.2 seconds. So that's easily done when you're pushing under pressure that has a car coming up behind you. You go onto the green stuff and you get a penalty for it. Lucky enough, it was only 0.2. I was expecting a lot more out of experience. Cutting that corner again a little bit too much. A brave move to make. but I managed to pull it off. Dan is now 1.3 seconds away behind me, and I'm 5.9 seconds away from the car in front. So we're still losing a few temps here and there, but overall I'm pretty happy with the position we are in. Considering I'm new to GT3, I am in 4th place. So, I mean, that's brilliant. In the last race I came P5 thanks to the persons in front penalty. So yeah, I mean, we're doing really well here through here. To be fair, Indianapolis is not a strong part of the track. As you can see, I'm flopping around like a silly little fish. It's not a strong point for me, but we are really doing well. Hopefully my idea now is to try and keep up with Dan in front. I mean, it's going to be a lot easier said than done, but if they can make a little bit of a slippy mistake here and there, I can keep up with the slipstream of them. But they are accelerating out of the corners earlier than me, having better grip than me, so I do think they have better car control than me. But we are going to try and keep up our position, because James Pancakes is at 1.7 seconds in my rearview mirror, and James Pancakes has a very fast CTS. So hopefully I do my best not to lose that position. But if I do, they do have a 6.4 second penalty. So even if I do surrender the position, as long as I can keep up with them, I can keep that position in the end after the race is calculated all the penalties up. You can see they're 1 second away, 0.8 seconds away now, and they're so much quicker accelerated than I am. I'm going to move over to the right hand side and see if let them take up the inside line. I'll go back to the left because they want the right. I just want to stay out of the way because you see how much quicker that thing is. Turning in through here, 7.3 second penalty now, so I'm not too sure what I got a penalty for, but you know, I mean, it's going to be hard push unless I mess up to lose 7 seconds towards the end of the race. So thankfully I do have that position pretty much in the bag. Looking up, you see 1.5 seconds ahead of me now, and getting a bit nervous because they really are gaining that time on me. Surprisingly, 2 seconds away now. It's not going to plan, it's failing. Oh dearie me. They can't really make 5 seconds up on this final corner unless I go off into oblivion. I do have that 0.6 second penalty to contend with, but as we do cross over the start and finish line, we finished the race in a very good, respectable P5 position. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.